Yeah. It belongs in baseball TikToks. Yeah. Head to the back and I'm stepping with a purpose. Grip on the bat, yeah, you know I get to work. B-Shack swing, got the whole field nervous. Pitch coming fast, but I'm turning it to circus. Crack of the bat, yeah, you heard that sound. Send it to the fence, now they looking around. Coach like, damn, how you hitting like that? I just point down like B-Shack got me now. I don't chase hits, I create that contact. Barrel it up, let me show you the man. Launch angle perfect, I'm sending it back. Out of the park, I'm stacking them stats on the K to the game. I don't never fall off. Every swing dialed in, I don't never feel lost. Hindsight, low away, it don't matter at all. If it's coming my direction, then it's leaving the yard. That's B-Shack swing, that's B-Shack power. Put the time in, now it's game time out. They was talking big, now they real quiet. One swing change, got our whole team fire. Sign me a deal, put my name on the check. If you stepping on the mound, better come with your best. I don't miss twice, I adjust and connect. Now they watching every move like I'm next up, babe.
Welcome into the Scene Project Sports Network. We are here with a very special interview for you all. You saw it right there, but we got the man himself, founder of Tack, Keaton Smith. Keaton, welcome to the show, brother.
Yeah, baby. What's up?
Yeah, this ain't a regular interview, so we had to make sure we got the 789 logo on there. Obviously, Tack being a sponsor of the show, we appreciate everything that you've done for 789 and the Scene Project Sports Network. So today we wanted to pay it forward a little bit and give you a chance to tell us not just about Tack, but get to know you as a man as well. So that's where I'd like to start out, Keaton. Have you give us a little bit of your backstory, and then we're going to get into the Tack hitting stations.
Sure. No problem. Yeah. So I grew up playing baseball, man. I guess is, from the time I could walk and swing a bat, I was swinging the stick, and started off living in Brandon, Valrico down in Florida, just outside, about 45 minutes outside of Tampa at Bloomingdale Little League. And man, I'm talking about getting up there and taking swings with my jersey on, my white pants, and you see my underwear through my white pants. Back in the day, I had my reds and my blues and my Scooby Doos on, and back from when I was young, and that's when I started. And it was kind of funny. My brother was 4 years older than I was, and so I had to wait about an hour before he would get home from school. And down in Florida, you had these stucco housing. The side of the houses were stucco. And so I had to figure out what I wanted to do before my brother got home so we could play together. And so I used to grab me a wiffle ball bat, and I had a tennis ball. And I'm right-handed. I throw right-handed, and I was hitting right-handed. And I couldn't, if I was standing like this, I couldn't throw it against the house and then get my hands back up to hit the ball in time as it bounced back off the house. And so I had to stand like this, and I had my bat in my hand right here, and I had the tennis ball right here, and I'd throw it off the house. I grabbed the bat, and by the time it bounced back off the house, I could hit it back off the house. And so I actually learned to be a switch hitter out of just necessity of playing by myself. And so I used to have to hit it back up the middle, right back off the house, bounce off the house, or else, because if I pulled it or I was late on it, I had to go get it because it went to either side of the A-frame. So anyway, that's kind of how I grew up learning how to play baseball. And it was just a real fun time. Florida has year-round baseball. It's awesome. And wound up leaving there probably around 7th grade and moved up to Georgia. And finally, I was always a part of like kind of the worst teams, like in Little League, and then finally in high school, man, I got to be a part of a really good team, baseball-wise. We had a really good coach, and we were taught the fundamentals. And we were all a bunch of mediocre ball players. We had some guys that were better than average. We had some guys that were average, and we had some guys that were below average. And we were just taught the fundamentals. And so we wound up being a really good group of ball players. And so high school was really fun for me. And I learned to play every position. We had a bunch of good ball players from the time I started as a freshman and sophomore and then junior and then senior year. You always have to kind of move around because the higher you get up in your levels, the more you have to be flexible. And I don't know if they do this very much anymore, but, a lot of your better players were pitchers and shortstops and center fielders and things like that. And so but I learned to play third base and shortstop and left field and right field, and wasn't really fast enough to ever play center. And we had a guy named Tony Moore, so he had that place covered up. So, but anyway, wound up switch hitting and getting to go pretty far with high school, and then wound up getting a college scholarship to go play college baseball. Played throughout college. Then senior year, I was second team All-American for the NCAA Rawlings, which was chosen on by the coaches in the Southeast region. And so that was a cool award and a cool selection to be a part of. I actually didn't even find out about it until I went into class one day. I was in the business management section of school. That's what I was going to college for. And I walked in, and one of my professors was like, "Oh, we saw you in the paper," or "I saw you in the paper, congratulations." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Oh, you was All-American NCAA Rawlings or something like that." And she's like, "Here, I got the paper. You want to see it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, that'd be cool." And then I saw it, and I was like, "Man, that's awesome. I wish somebody would have told me about it, So anyway, played all over in college as well. And when I actually was signed to be a shortstop my last 2 years of college. And then right before we started in January, our catcher failed out of school. His grades were bad. And so I went up to our coach, Coach Edward Taylor, and I said, "Hey, Coach," I said, "I used to catch in Little League. I'll get back there. We're deep everywhere else, and I'm a team player. Put me out, let me get back there." And so I caught my junior and my senior year and had a lot of fun. And we won 2 conference championships my junior and senior year, which was actually the 3rd and the 4th in a row conference championships for Albany State University, a Division II school. A ton of fun. I absolutely loved those 2 years. And then had an opportunity, went and did a tryout at Georgia State University in Atlanta for an international tryout. And so I threw from the outfield. They gun you from the outfield, they gun you from the infield and from behind the plate, and then off the mound if you're a pitcher. So I played everywhere. And so I wanted any opportunity to continue my baseball career. And so I threw from the outfield. They clocked me at 94. I threw from shortstop. They clocked me at 94. And then I threw from behind the plate. And I had a 1.87 pop time. And I was a switch hitter. And unfortunately for me, I was about 180 pounds. And so I think I was the skinniest catcher ever whenever I was going to tryouts and all this other stuff with these guys that are studs. And so anyway, did the tryout, had an offer to go to Belgium, Holland, or Austria in Europe. And so in Florida, I grew up down the street from world champion winner Jay Bell with the Arizona Diamondbacks when they beat the Yankees in the World Series. So I met Jay Bell, actually. This is a cool story. I met Jay Bell trick-or-treating as a little kid. So knocked on the door, trick or treat, "Hey, I'm out of candy. Would you like an autograph?" I'm like, "Wow, sure. I don't know who this guy is, and it was Jay Bell. He was playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates at the time. He was the shortstop. And so anyway, became really good friends with Jay and wonderful family. And so what is this, 15 years later almost, or something like that? I get this offer to go to Europe, these offers to go to Europe. And I call up Jay and I'm like, "Hey, Jay, I've got these offers. What should I do?" And he's like, "Keaton, Austria is the most beautiful place I've ever seen in the world." And so that's where I chose to start to go after college is to Austria. And so I went to Austria. I was in charge of, helping develop the junior team and then also playing and helping the guys develop that I played with as well. And so anyway, so what we had, it was a lot of fun, and definitely it's a step down in competition, but it was an incredible experience. Halfway through the season there, I was already pre-committed to play with a USA Athletes International Tournament team in Stockholm, Sweden. And so I went to bounced out of the Austrian League for the week to fly to Stockholm, Sweden. I met up with my USA Athletes International baseball team in Stockholm. Spent a week there playing an international tournament. Had a fabulous time there. It was a lot of fun. Sweden actually has great baseball too, by the way. And so then flew back to Austria, finished out my contract there. And while I was finishing out the contract, the New York Yankees had a European tour team come through. And Paul Blair, who played in the late 70s, he played with Reggie Jackson. He was an all-star center fielder for the Baltimore Orioles. So Paul Blair and Larry Massaroni were the two coaches for this Yankees European tour team promoting baseball through Europe. And so they came through, and we put together an Austrian all-star team to play their prospect team, the team that they were traveling with. And right before we had a home run derby right before the all-star game. And I went up to Paul Blair and I said, "Hey, Paul, just give me a golden nugget, man. Tell me something that's just going to blow my mind. I've never heard before about hitting. You know, what's the difference between a line drive swing and a home run swing of a Major League Baseball player?" And he said, "Keaton, it's like this and it's like this." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "Here's what you got to do. You have to train to the power alleys in center field. You have to train to the big parts of the field, and you have to catch contact off the front side of the hip. Your hands need to be off the front side of the hip, and like on a pitch down the middle, the barrel should be directly across from your hands at contact, and that's how you stay behind the ball. But you have to train to the big parts of the field. That's where your best power is." And so he worked with me for like 10 minutes, you know, just hanging out with me, you know, give me a couple flips and everything like that. And then we have the home run derby, and I win the home run derby. And Paul Blair, as soon as I won it, I was the last guy to go, and I won it right-handed, which is kind of a little bit crazy. But we had a short porch in left field, and so I hit right-handed, but anyway, I was the last guy to go. And when I hit the home run to win it, and I took off, and I just did around the bases, I was just pumped up, and I took off, and I did around the base trot, and Paul Blair was the first one at home plate to meet me at home plate, man. And it was just like, hell yeah, Paul, you are the man. You know what I mean?
Taught him everything he knows, kids. Look at this guy.
Absolutely, man. I'm like 10 years too late, but this is awesome, you know? But yeah, man, that was cool. And they asked me to come back the next year and be their shortstop for the next year's European tour. And but that's where the Beast Tack started. That's what Paul told me is the reason for the development of the Beast Tack. And now we've got a good product. We're teaching kids the fundamentals. You don't have to pick up a ball. You don't have to throw a ball. The angles of rotation tell you everything about what your hands are doing at contact. And now Parks and Rec are putting them in. It's slow, but you know, that's what we need people to do. We need people to call up their local Park and Recs and say, "Hey, we need to get some Beast Tack hitting stations out here." Because at the end of the day, man, all these parents will have to do is bring their kid and a bat up to the park, and a parent or a coach with no hitting experience whatsoever can help these kids become better. And
that's massive. And we've had our setup in the backyard now for less than a week, but I've already seen it. Now we haven't got to take it to the game yet, but seeing the difference that it's made with my kids, because they only get reps when they're at the Park and Rec. And we had, we got some balls that are down there, but kids are stealing the balls, and the bats that are in there aren't great bats. And it just makes it really, really tough, where the Beast Tack has kind of changed that. I got a video I'd like to add up here. You sent me some of this stuff, and I want to put this one up here.
Sure.
And you can kind of narrate it if you need to. I'll kind of mute the video, and you can just tell us. This is the startup video that you had sent me. So just kind of put this up there, and you can explain a little bit of what's going on here with the Beast Tack and some of the features on it.
Yeah. So what we really want to do is we want to make sure the kids are standing in the right spot. You know, the basic of what is step one if I want to hit a baseball or a softball. You want to catch that ball out front. So with kids, you want to make sure that they're standing far enough back to when they trigger and they take that step, that stride, that at contact, they're still catching that ball out front. And so what he's doing right here, he's looking to see if he got that 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock rotation. Because when you're working on a pitch down the middle, you want to hit that ball back up the middle. Bam, right there. If it goes 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock, you got perfectly behind the baseball. And if it goes to the side like that, you're either getting inside the ball or outside the ball. And so for youth, and even, as for me, especially all the way up, all I ever worked on was a pitch down the middle, because that's a pitcher. See how that ball swung to the side? He got around that ball. And when you get around the ball like that, that means you're throwing the barrel out there too far. You're not getting your hands through and then letting the barrel come through. So once the kids start to see and understand these angles of rotation that the ball assembly is taken, they understand how to fix their hands, right? And so even like once the parents understand this, the parents with no hitting experience whatsoever can start to sit there and help their kids become better hitters. So that is the purpose of it.
Well, and it's giving you real-time data that you don't necessarily get hitting off a tee. You're not chasing balls around. You're not having to sit there with them and put the ball. These kids can sit in the backyard, and my kids did it all day last Saturday and Sunday, where they're just out with the bat. And they didn't even need the best bat, right? Like, we have an old T-ball bat, a little 26-incher, right? But it's good enough for them to step behind. And what they need to see more than anything, especially my kids are 9 and 10, they need to see the bat hitting the ball over and over again, seeing that rotation, building those reps in there. And I've never seen anything on the market better for that than this. And for people that can afford to put one behind their home, look, if you're playing baseball and your kids are playing competitive baseball, you're spending over $1,000 a season on shoes and new bags and a new mitt and $300-$400 bats that are out there. Go get yourself a Beast Tack for $1,000 that will last them the entirety of their career. And all you got to do is replace the ball assembly in it. It's a no-brainer on the value side, to me anyway. And for the parks and rec that are establishing those, what better way do you have to give back to these generations upon generations of kids that are going to be using this system? I mean, we just need to tell people about it and get these things out there. And I think it's really easy to see, especially just watching a video like we just did of like, oh yeah, we need one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Park and rec, I mean, they're there to enhance the park for the community. They're going to spend your tax dollars to enhance the park for the kids and adults. We've got down in Orlando at Red Bug Lake Park, they actually put in 3 Beast Tacks at the adult softball fields. And all the kids are using it while moms and dads are playing, and even the adults are using it too. But I mean, they're starting to go up. It's just a long sales cycle with Parks and Rec, and that's why we're just we're really just trying to find all the ways we can to get the word out there about it. And the kids love it. The kids love it. Red Bug Lake said the kids will be there on Saturdays, lined up, waiting their turn to hit in it. Because at the end of the day, batting cages really aren't making youth players any better. Batting cages are just what's been around forever. There hasn't been anything new, And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach the kids the fundamentals, the basics. We're trying to help them to build muscle memory, right? Every swing a kid takes on a Beast Tack is going to be at a strike. Every swing a kid takes in a batting cage is going to be here, right? And all that stuff. And that's not how you build muscle memory. Now, you absolutely need a cage because a kid needs to work on their timing, but you have to build a foundation before you build on your timing, right? And so because you want to groove that swing, and it's just one of those things to where you take 5 to 10 hacks and then you step back, you let the next guy go. And then now all of a sudden you've had a chance to think about what you just did, what you just saw, capture that feedback, think about what you're doing, because baseball is a thinking game. It's not just about hitting it, watching it spin, stopping it, and then hitting it and watching it spin and stopping it. It's hit it, watch it spin, understand what you just saw, let it spin until it stops, take a breather, step out, dig back in, gather yourself, just like a game scenario, and now moms and dads can do it from the bench over there at the rec thing, and a lot of these kids nowadays, they want to do it themselves, and so this is a perfect opportunity for that. I mean, we put Major League Baseballs on the ball assembly. We sent you one so you could check that out. I mean, this thing is built in the USA. It's all about quality. I didn't want to get involved with the with a bad quality product, getting it cheap, selling a bunch of them. Like, this was really specifically to help kids, because a lot of the better instruction has gone into travel ball, high school, and college nowadays. And recreation, God bless them, they're volunteers. They're doing the best they can, but sometimes they're teaching these kids absolute nonsense. And it's just stuff that they're just hearing, they're regurgitating, and they're doing their best, right? So here is something that actually we can put out there for people to come up to whenever it's convenient for them. They can work on the swing. I mean, now, have you ever had a chance as a parent sometimes to go to Walmart, spend $35 on a bat, take your kid up to the park because they said they wanted to play baseball or softball, let them take some swings. This is going to be fun for them. If they swing and miss, it's like good practice swing. You know what I mean? You hit a tee, it falls over, they got to pick up the ball. It's a little discouraging for kids, right? And so now we've got these electronic counters that we're wanting to implement into the future to connect it in with an app so these kids can compete nationwide on an app of how many spins they get. We can kind of gamify it, And then for the older kids, we're actually going to take that same electronic counter. We're going to use AI to convert the amount of time it takes it to take one full rotation, and we're going to convert that to exit velocity. And so now we can kind of gain the interest of the older kids too, right? And so, so that's the plan. We built it for the kids. All this has been for the kids. It's a great product, and it's you just take some hacks.
It's incredible. Looking forward to having one in the backyard here and taking it down to let our kids' teams use them as well, and watching it improve the play of our youngsters. We live in a small town, brother. We don't have a lot of resources that can get put into that. They spent a ton of money putting up new batting cages and raising money in the community to do that. These systems are so much more valuable than those batting cages could ever be. And teaching these kids from a very young age how to hit the ball in the proper spot. I see it all the time, right? Like my son Mickey's barely 4 foot tall. None of his coaches can even hit his strike zone. But now I have something where I can put him in there, and he might get 3 hits when the coach is pitching to him at practice. He can get that in a matter of a minute with the Beast Tack. He's gotten more reps in the last 2 days in the backyard than he has probably his entire career playing Little League ball, right? So it's been a breakthrough for us. And I know that there's a lot of other parents and teams and leagues that are out there that could benefit from this as well. That's why I jumped at the opportunity to work with you, to have you on as a sponsor of 789, to do everything in our power to really spread the word about what we think is the most amazing hitting station we've ever seen. I mean, take the pitching machine and throw that thing in the trash, man. This is much better for the teams out there. Is it going to help you with your timing? No, but it's going to help you build that foundation that you need to barrel that ball up and to start hitting dingers.
Yeah. Balance equals power. And this thing will make you be balanced, right? And so, again, we're not here to replace everything else. We're here to just bring a value-added piece of equipment to the party. That's all. That's what we're here to do. We are here for that 7-year-old or 5-year-old or 5-year-old to 14-year-old. We want to give those kids a chance. Like 85% of those kids are dropping out by the time they're 13 because they don't have a chance. How many of those kids that are in park and rec ball because their parents can't afford travel ball, right? Because it's thousands of dollars. How many of those kids could possibly have a chance if they were just taught the fundamentals, And then maybe the middle school program will start to improve. And then when the middle school program starts to improve, the high school program in these small towns will start to improve. And then all of a sudden now you have kids who may be going to play on scholarships and stuff. So it's a long play, and we're in it for the long haul. We've got patents. We just finished a 5-year opposition with Monster Energy Drink Corporation, which we won. So, it's kind of like,
completely not baseball related.
Yeah. I mean, but it's very much business. Like, it's been very much a part of this. And when I first started this, I was so pumped up. And then the nastiness of business and lawyers and stuff like that got involved. And it's been a wait for the last 5 years. But now it's off of us. We're good to go. And, man, I just can't wait to see these things continue to pop up. I got a picture yesterday from Henry County. They were the 2023 Park and Rec of the Year in Georgia. And they just sent me pictures yesterday of another park that they're implementing all these beast tacks in. Wet cement, beast tacks down. They're going up, man. They're going up.
That's awesome. Well, and we hope to spread the word up here where we're at in the upper Midwest and continue growing this name of the Beast Tack, getting as many kids as possible hitting off of this thing and becoming better ball players. And maybe this is a renaissance for the game that I think it desperately needs right now. And this is how you do it. You get kids excited about ball, and it's hard to when you don't have the right tools. Well, now we got the tools. We just got to tell everyone about it. So Keaton, I appreciate everything you're doing for us, what you're doing for my kids and what you're doing for our neighborhood, and what we can do to do it for a lot of other park and recs and teams across the country now and around the world to make these kids better hitters and ultimately better ball players.
Yep. That's the goal. Get a couple of these kids getting better. Their friends are going to want to hit with them. It's something they can do together. It's just a lot of fun, man. Hitting is the most exciting part of baseball and softball. That is the funnest part. Chicks dig the long ball. You know what? So do grandmas and granddads. So do moms and dads.
We had a couple of our girls on senior night last night at the softball field, hit a couple of dingers. It was pretty awesome to watch. And the excitement, even though it was pouring down rain and it was cold and everything, man, watching that ball go over the fence. And they didn't just hit it over the regulation softball fence, right? That's inside of it. One of these girls hit it all the way out of the park, and seeing the elation in that, it took away all the cold and wet feelings that you'd had for 6 innings before that. And we want to give that to as many people as we can, as many of these young kids as we can, to get them with that big smile on their face. Now, I didn't hit a lot in my high school career, but that's because I didn't have a beast tack, Keaton.
Yeah, I didn't either. I wish I would have had one.
Might have made it to the show, huh?
Maybe it got another step further, a little step closer.
Well, Keaton, I appreciate you taking some time for me today to talk about Beast Tack. You've been a big part of 789 for the last couple of weeks here. Glad we got to finally sit down and to do this. I see a long, fruitful partnership between our companies and a lot of smiling faces of these kids become better ball players as well. So thank you for being part of what we're building here, and thank you for being part of the scene.
Thank you, Bubba. We look forward to it.
So the Beast Tack is an incredible tool, no matter what age kid that you have, but just to be able to work and making sure that their hands are getting to the right position as they hit the ball. It is something you don't have to go chase balls anywhere, those things, but this Beast Tack is incredible because when you get that 12-6 rotation, it's real easy to tell that you're putting a good swing on that. And my kids, is after I teach them what they're looking for, and they can work on it on their own if they want to. So a great training tool for a team, great training tool for individuals. So I highly, highly recommend you purchasing a Beast Tack so that your player can be the best that they can be on the baseball field.